3, 2, 1. Hello.
Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, common side effects. That's what we're talking about. There we go. Let's start. Shit, I genuinely forgot. I was like, what are we talking about?
Let's do it again. 3, 2, 1.
Sometimes a show comes along and blows everyone away, but then nobody's really watching it. This is common side effects.
Let's talk about it.
Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperTalks. I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
And we are going to be talking about a series that may not be in your peripheral, but really, really, really should be. Common side effects.
Yep. I remember even you didn't know about it until I pointed it out, right?
Yes.
And I was telling you, hey Nick, have you heard of this show called Common Side Effect? And it's funny because another friend of mine, which is a film buff, he is the one that recommended me Severance, and he didn't know about Common Side Effects as well.
It feels like it's flown under the radar, but I wonder also if it's because it's Adult Swim, for one, and to Malaysia's side, we don't really get a lot of Adult Swim stuff, except maybe Rick and Morty.
Okay.
That might be the extent of it, but because it's so popular, it had to come here.
That's true.
Whereas with this, you would need to use a VPN to go on HBO Max to find it. But if you can, honestly, this is a show that is already my favorite series, hands down, for this year.
It's one of those shows where, like you said, right, it's flown under the radar. No one knows about it. I only knew about it because I saw like this random trailer on one of the subreddits that pop out on my front page. And I was like, this looks interesting. Let's click on the trailer. And the trailer itself, which is going to be played here.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah, please.
Okay, just go with me for a minute. What if there were a medicine that could heal, like, almost anything?
A mushroom.
Not just any mushroom. The caviar, the ghost orchid of mushrooms. We spend more money than ever on healthcare, and everyone's still sick. Think about all the people who make tons of money just from keeping us sick by keeping us unwell. This company, Reunical Pharmaceuticals, their CEO is this, like, evil. He's not even smart enough to be evil. He's like the devil's idiot butler.
You know how bad my life is right now? Ah, great. Now my room service is here.
Wow, that was so amazing.
Right. And the trailer itself was like, okay, this is something out of left field. I did not expect this at all. No one asked for this at all.
Yeah.
But watching the first 3 episodes, Nick, oh my God.
The first episode already showed me that this was so much more than what I had seen in any trailers or clips.
Exactly.
Like, I will admit, I had seen a few clips here and there on YouTube, like thumbnails or whatnot, and I thought, oh, Adult Swim tends to come out with all this weird sort of stuff. So I thought, oh, it's just another, typical Adult Swim series. But no, this has so much political undertones, so much deep personal stories that is so much more than just a trippy little show that it makes it out to be.
Because the summary of this show, right, what we like to do on Epic Arcade is call it the back of the box, right? For the back of the box of Common Side Effects
This is the back of the DVD.
Yeah, back of the DVD. Follow former high school lab mates Marshall and Francis as they unravel a conspiracy involving Big Pharma and the government to suppress knowledge of rare fungus secret that may contain the solution to cure all world's disease. And it revolves around shrooms, of all things.
Which, to be honest, I kind of get it. Because it's this whole thing of like, it goes back to nature at the end of the day. What heals us comes from the earth. What we take, what we give away, it all comes from the earth, and it's all full circle. Now, what I like about this show is there's been many, many, many series about the American sort of health crisis. One of the ones that I really enjoy is called Dope Sick, which is on Disney Plus with Michael Keaton, which tells the true story of one of the big pharma companies who found out was, making people sicker in order to sell them this new drug. So watching this show and seeing the fact that this person, this sort of scientist, researcher type person, has found a mushroom that can heal all things.
Yeah, it's a cure-all shroom, basically.
It's a cure-all shroom.
Right.
And the fact that the big pharma companies are trying to take him down.
Not only the big pharma itself, because in the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, Big Pharma found out that there's this mysterious druggie, found a cure-all drug, and then they got the government involved as well, because along the lines in the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, they was like, okay, there's this brand new drug. It's going to take down the entire pharma industry if it gets released or people knows about it, right? And then from there, we follow Marshall's story on like how he found the drug, what is he doing now, he's being hunted, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You just have to sit down and watch it.
Yes. And speaking of like the government and the big pharma companies trying to hunt this down to sort of quell and sort of destroy all those mushrooms just so that they can still keep making drugs and selling it to people. It's something that honestly, I would not be surprised that is already happening in this whole world.
I mean, there's
itself.
a lot of conspiracy theory where people say that, you know, there's already a cure for AIDS, there's already a cure for cancer, there's already a cure for this and that, like terminal diseases.
Yes.
Right, there's already a cure for that. Again, this is all just conspiracy. I'm not saying that there is a drug out there. You know, this is just things that you hear murmurs of on the internet.
Yes.
Right, and then there's people coming in to be like, oh no such thing, like.
No, we need to keep making money, so we're gonna keep making you sick and keep giving you these drugs. And it's a very real story, which I did not expect the series to touch on, because from the trailers and from what you told me, it's a very sort of trippy.
Oh, it is trippy, man.
Trippy.
It is trippy.
But there isn't the main point.
Yep.
Like the trippiness only happens, oddly enough, when they take the mushroom.
Yep.
They take the mushroom, they go into this alternate universe and all this weird stuff happens. That is trippy as
They go
hell.
into like a third person mode and be like, oh my god, what am I seeing? What am I
this
seeing?
ethereal area. And I'm like, oh boy, I need to sit down for this one. But then when it gets into the real conversations of, I wrote down here, what did I write? A medical capitalism. That's what I like to call it, medical capitalism. It really, really hits home, I think, for a lot of Americans as well. Because, I mean, I'm only basing this on what I know in the media, but in America, your health system is screwed up. And it costs thousands and thousands of dollars just to get an ambulance and stuff like that. And this really shows it. Like, it could be so simpler, but then the big pharmaceutical companies would not make money.
Do you know how much is it for us Malaysians to get teeth cleaning in the government clinics?
Yeah, 10 ringgit. Ringgit je. Which is 1 ringgit for people who are watching it in the US.
It's either 1 or 4 ringgit.
Yeah.
About that, yeah.
No, it's come to a point that some Americans will try and cross the border into Canada to take advantage of the free healthcare over there.
Yep.
Side note, there's a great documentary. Unfortunately, it's done by Michael Moore, who is a bit of a controversial figure in itself, but he did a film about pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
And he went to Canada, and he was just standing outside the hospital interviewing people as they come out. And he's like, oh, what did you get done? Oh, I cut my finger off on the bandsaw and they had to reattach it. How much did it cost you? Oh, it was free. And then he asked another person, oh, I just had a major surgery on my arm. Like, you can see the big scar and whatnot. And asked again, how much did you have to pay for this? That must be quite expensive. Oh, no, it's free. It's covered under my Canadian healthcare. And I think Americans started to realize, shit, our healthcare is quite screwed up. Like, even here.
Is it called sicko?
Maybe? Might be. I'm not sure. I have to find this, but it's a Michael Moore documentary. I know that.
Right, okay.
But yes, that again relates to this series as well, because I keep saying it, I'm going to keep saying it. This is a massive commentary on medical capitalism disguised as a very trippy, my favorite word, avant-garde show.
I also want to add, like, I don't want you to go into, yes, it is a Adult Swim cartoon for adults, right? And we all know that Adult Swim is a bit unhinged when it comes to the content, because if you take Rick and Morty, for example, it's like, bro, no one asked for this.
Yeah.
Right? It is not The Simpsons. It is like Simpsons and Family Guy and American Dad times 100.
Yeah.
And the things that comes out of Rick and Morty are things that you will never expect, right? although Rick and Morty is just full of action, it's full of like crazy content, trippy content, and it's a lot of action with a baseline plot that is building over the seasons. But for common side effects, I would feel it is more of a drama slash mockumentary than anything else, because some parts of the show or the cartoon is quite dry.
Yes.
Right? The conversation, the tone, even the two DEA agents, I can't remember their name, but the conversation,
conversations are random as hell.
Their conversation is so random, just like how you would if we are talking off screen, for example, right? It's like, oh, how's your day? Oh, how's that date you went to?
What music is this? Italian disco.
Yeah, right? and it's just the most random conversations. Reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want people to go in to be like, oh, there's going to be some action-packed, super, like pew-pew here and there kind of stuff. No, there are elements of that, but it's more, I wouldn't use the word slice of life, but it's more drama, right? It's more pharma drama.
Pharma drama.
Right.
I like that word.
Okay.
Don't get me into some pharma drama, bitch.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, after the break, we're going to be talking more about the characters as well as the very interesting animation style. We'll see you in a bit.
Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora, work your body line. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time. My girl's name is Sonora. I tell you, friends, I adore her. And when she dances, oh brother, she's a hurricane in all kinds of weather. Jump in the line, rock your body and...
Cabano, Harrington, follow me.
Now, I do have to say, from the clips and from the trailers, one thing that really intrigued me was the animation style.
Okay.
One thing Adult Swim does well is I feel like they give the creatives full control of what they want to do.
Yes.
Go as far as you want, do whatever you want, and sometimes it works. And this definitely works because there's something about it that is so engaging and like mysterious at the same time and odd. Like even in those trippy moments, I wrote that even though it's very trippy, it adds that eeriness and tension to the whole series.
Just mild spoilers, right? It's like whenever they take the blue mushroom, for example, they are transported into their mind, and in the mind they are on another plane.
Yes.
Right? And this other plane is like they are lucid.
Yeah.
But it's so trippy. They know what is going on. They see little
creatures, those white creatures.
Yeah, that is kind of curing them.
But that's why I'm waiting to see what these white creatures are. Because if it's just one person seeing it, okay, it's somebody's trip.
But everyone,
it's a consistent one.
Everyone that ate the mushroom saw it.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, it's a series called Common Side Effects. Are we going to see a side effect to these mushrooms later on? Can you just double check how many episodes we're getting from this? Because right now we're on 3 episodes.
Okay.
Their previous series, which I'll get to in a second, Scavenger's Reign, I think was 10 episodes. So I'm wondering how many we get of this, because each episode keeps me on my toes. It's like I want more and more and more.
10 episodes here.
10 episodes
10
as well.
episodes here, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a good chunk of time.
As of this recording, which is Thursday, 13th of February, only 3 episodes have been released.
Okay.
But the reviews are 8.9, 9,
and it falls in line with the previous series, Scavenger's Reign. Like, doing some research on this series, I found that like that was their first series on Adult Swim, and it was critically acclaimed. A lot of people loved it. They praised the animation style and the story. And watching the first episode, I completely get it.
Yep.
It's about this space mission off in space that went wrong, and now these astronauts are stranded on an alien planet, but they're all separated. So there's a lot of themes of isolation, grief, going insane, being in isolation.
Okay.
And if you think this common side effects is trippy, this one is 100% more trippy.
Okay.
The first episode alone barely has a lot of dialogue in it.
If I'm not mistaken, Scavenger Rain was one of the episodes. The girl fell into a hole and then she saw some monsters.
Maybe. Because the one that
I think I've seen it before as well.
Because what stood out to me in the first episode was, okay, this is interesting. And then it gets to a point where one of the survivors is stuck inside his ship.
Okay.
And he peers out this small hole and that's his only access.
Oh.
And he's gone mad. Like, he's just laughing. He's banging walls and stuff. And I'm like, what is this? It's haunting, but it's so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the kind of concept they're going to keep going for with their series. And I'm like, power to them. Keep doing it because you've got something there. These are the true epitome of the phrase adult animation.
Yep.
Now, there's another thing that you might think of when it comes to adult animation,
No.
especially on the Japanese side.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
But this is mature animation.
Mature animation. Basically cartoons made for adult entertainment.
Yes.
Right?
Like Scavenger's Rain.
Even that sound wrong.
You'll find ways.
Okay.
Animation for adult... No, there's still... Anything with the word adult and animation just will not end well. Anyway, what I will relate this to, Scavenger's Rain especially, if you know Paprika...
Oh, yeah?
It falls in line with Paprika.
Oh, so it's a very Satoshi Kon kind of...
very much so.
Like Perfect Blue, Paprika...
When the trippy moments happened, that was the first thing I thought of. Paprika. It was so reminiscent of that. And I feel that is lacking in this day and age, especially from Hollywood side.
Mm-hmm.
From Japan side, I expect it because they are very creative and they're very in tune with this. But America side, we don't get much animation. It's always based on regular show, Adventure Time. That's considered adult, where it's just mad. It's just all kinds of mad and randomness.
It's basically cartoon for children with a lot of adult undertones to it.
Yes.
Like if you go back all the way back to the 90s or even the 2000s, a lot of the cartoons in our time had a lot of sexual innuendos as well. But if you're a kid, you were so oblivious to all these things. But once you watch the clips again online, and you'd be like, bro, that's kind of sus, bro.
How did I watch this when I was at a young age?
Right. A lot of the
Looney Tunes,
Hanna-Barbera.
Tom and Jerry were incredibly violent.
Right. But as kids, we were so oblivious to it. But show like this, for example, for common side effects, you go in knowing that this show is created for adults.
Yes.
Right. And there's a lot of influence of drugs. There's a lot of a lot of suspicious... I don't know the right word for it, Nick, right? But it's... You go in knowing that you don't let your kids watch this.
Yes, for sure. And it opens up another big conversation about pharmaceutical companies again. I
just want to touch on the cast and crew real quickly, right? Because we have the main character, Marshall, voiced by Dave King, Francis, the pharma company assistant, played Francis Applewhite, played by Emily Pendergast, and then the two agents, which is one of my favorite characters because they're so dry and boring, and they're fun as well, right? Even if you watch the first trailer, they were just dancing to like this funky
Italian disco, they call
Italian song. Right? We have Agent Copano and Agent Harrington, played by Joseph Lee Anderson and Martha Kelly. It's fantastic.
Don't disregard Mike Judge, like the king of the hill. Mike Judge himself plays the big pharma.
Oh, Rick Kruger.
The second I heard his voice, I'm like, Mike Judge.
Right, okay.
And I kind of love his and hate the character because he is the stereotypical big boss CEO.
Right.
But there's that running gag of him just playing this particular like Candy Crush type game.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
he's like the CEO, the unwilling CEO that don't even know what he's doing.
But he just loves playing his game.
Yep. Right.
And I want to see where they go with it, if it's just a running gag or it's something more.
Yeah.
And release that game. I want to play that game too.
Yeah.
That Fox looks very interesting.
To wrap things up, I believe Common Side Effect is definitely one of, if not the best cartoon for adults coming out this year.
Yeah.
Because there are a whole list of cartoons coming out, but Common Side Effect is the earliest to release. There's a couple more. I can't remember the name, but
Common Side Effects, I also feel, is a must-watch series at this point. Like, it's a great example of what happens when you give creatives full control and don't give them any barriers.
Yep.
Let them tell the story they want, let them do the animation that they want, and you can guarantee success from it because it comes from passion. It comes from the heart. They're unhinged, and it's honestly, it's great. It really is such a magical, fantastic, trippy, eerie, mind-blowing series that everyone has to, except children, everyone has to watch at this point if you can. Get a VPN, go on HBO Max, watch this now, and then watch Scavenger's Reign after that.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
So yes, thank you so much for watching. Go and catch comment side effects and let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We definitely want to hear what you think. You can check us out on social media at ClapperCorn on Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube.
And for more Malaysian podcasts,
you can find them on Spotify. There's a whole bunch of Malaysian podcasts. There's so many nowadays.
Yeah, right. Anyways, for all Malaysian podcasts, updates or information from Renegade Radio, you can go to www.renegadeplus.com.
There you go. Thank you so much again for watching. I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
Keep watching the movies.
Goodbye.
This was an awkward ending.
3, 2, 1.
This might look like individual fungi, but what you're seeing is a single intelligence.
The Blue Angel mushroom could have effects 100 times anything we've ever seen.
They want it nipped in the bud.
I'll call the DEA right now, whatever it takes.
You want to try to cheat life? Play God?
If this comes through, it could change the pharmaceutical game as we know it.